Hello everybody, today I'll be doing my review of Volume 4 of Vagabond. This will be my first initial thoughts on it. And spoilers ahead. It starts off with Miyamoto having a dream about Otsu and waking up from the dream to find out that he had been asleep or passed out for something like it was 3 days straight after his fight, and he ends up running back into the monk from before. And there's also now a new character who might have long stay in the story, whose name is Jotaro. And my first thoughts as soon as I saw him and read the name was Jotaro Kujo from JoJo's. But probably just a coincidence that they're both named Jotaro. They talking. Miyamoto plans on hanging out and traveling to Nara now. Heading from Kyoto to Nara and trying to train for the next year so he can have his rematch with Denshiro. And while he's talking about that, he's giving the monk a haircut. During the process, he plays a little prank on the monk by shaving or cutting his hair to where on the back of his head is a smiley face. During that process of talking about going out to train at challenging different temples and dojos, the kid Jotaro wants to be Miyamoto's student or disciple. Miyamoto refuses. And during the process, Jotaro ends up bringing up on the route to there, or to Nara, some strong individuals that are likely going to be key parts in the story of people Miyamoto will have to fight. And one of those groups, or at least one of the people, seems to be the focus for the next section of the story. The two little groups that have the strong individual in them is Yaguru and Hozu-in. And after they're done talking, Miyamoto and the monk end up hanging out in the direction of Nara. During the process, the kid, Jotaro, is following them. When they bring that up, when Miyamoto asks the kid if he's following him, the kid says, "You guys just so happen to be walking in front of me." And their response to that is to run ahead of him or to lose him. Which they end up doing. After they get far enough ahead to where the kid loses them, the monk asks Miyamoto about Otsu, because in his sleep he kept mentioning Otsu's name. And it seems like Miyamoto now might have feelings for Otsu. And that he feels like that's clouding his judgment, and he needs to suppress those feelings in order to become stronger, in order to become a stronger swordsman. But the monk begs to differ and is kind of encourages Miyamoto to go see Otsu, which Otsu at the moment, after the end of Volume 3, it gets revealed that she was originally going to hang out with Miyamoto, but he declined because he didn't want to drag her along on his journey. And so she ended up with the Yagaru group, as the first group I mentioned earlier. During this, Miyamoto, I think it was slightly earlier, it was, he found out Matahachi is the one who brought him to the inn where he woke up and saw and found a monk. And at the same time, Matahachi is wanted for burning down the dojo. And so that seems like it's going to be a little side plot. It's also revealed that the granny from the first 3 volumes is trying to chase down Miyamoto, because she still believes he's alive, while at the same time looking for Matahachi. She finds the wanted poster for Matahachi and is shocked. She also ends up hearing the name Miyamoto Musashi. She puts together that Musashi is the name of the village they're from, and Miyamoto in Japanese, if something like the kanji is swapped around, would be Takizo. And so she realizes Takizo is still alive and is now called Miyamoto. So not only is she trying to find Matahachi, at the same time she's going after Miyamoto and also Otsu, because she left the village. Now going back to Miyamoto and the monk, they're end up coming across a split pathway. The monk is going to the Yagaru shrine area, or temple area, but Miyamoto, knowing that Otsu is there, he decides to try to distance himself from her and goes to the Houzuen shrine or temple area to challenge the monks there. Because supposedly the monks there are known for their great spear techniques. And so they head off their separate ways, while Miyamoto is on his way to Hozoin temple or shrine area, he comes across Jotaro again. And so during their encounter, Miyamoto says Jotaro should just go back to his parents. Jotaro reveals he doesn't have any parents. Then Miyamoto says he should just go back to the inn where he was working. Jotaro reveals the innkeeper said he's the one. Oh, the innkeeper is the one that suggested he goes and trains under Miyamoto. As now he has nowhere to go, he's just going to be following Miyamoto. Miyamoto finally decides to allow him to follow him along. At least for the time being. They end making their way to a farmland close to the Hozuin, and they meet a old monk farmer there, and Miyamoto ends up sensing off bloodlust from him. Jotaro didn't realize it, and as Jotaro is going up to the farmer, trying to ask him for directions, Miyamoto stops him for a second, feeling like they were about to be attacked by him. But that wasn't the case. It seems like the farmer ends up revealing that he senses a lot of bloodlust from Miyamoto. And ends up revealing the bloodlust Miyamoto felt was just him kind of reflecting it back at him. So he was feeling his own bloodlust. But after their encounter, it switches over to somebody else. The person's name is Toji. And Gion Toji. He is after Miyamoto for the fact that he challenged the Sejiro school. And not Sejiro, Yoshiokai school. And he believes Miyamoto is the one that burned it down, even though it was technically Matahachi. And he ends up he's heading to Nara too because he heard that that's where Miyamoto was heading. And so he got a little bit of a head start, it seems, and was able to make it to the temple first. Hozuin. And he ends up challenging the monks there. At the time, the monks were challenging anybody, were accepting challenges, and during their challenge, when he challenges the monks, the monkey faces, he ends up cutting off his wrist, and so he ends up saying he'll be taking on a monk each day until Miyamoto gets there. Now it goes back to Miyamoto. Him, Jotaro, and the old monk farmer are sitting in the monk's little cabin or house, drinking, talking, and eating. The monk is trying to explain or talk out talk to Miyamoto about what does it mean to be strong or truly strong, because he believes that that's what Miyamoto's after, is to be strong. Miyamoto says he believes he's strong, but at the same time he knows he's not too strong because there's stronger people than he is. And so he's on a journey to try to become stronger so he can be the strongest. And Monk ends up saying something along the lines of, you won't be able to tell or see the essence of true strength with that narrow viewpoint of yours. And Miyamoto doesn't quite understand what he's meaning by those words. After that, the monk goes and grabs some sake. They start drinking. And later, the monk says, you'll eventually find out or see the essence of true strength if you live long enough. But the catch is you have to live long enough. And Miyamoto ends up saying he will survive, or he'll live long enough to get stronger. Then it goes to the next day. Miyamoto leaves early in the morning, leaving Jotaro and the monk. As he leaves, the monk kind of catches him off guard with a practice spear and reminds Miyamoto that spears have a long reach. Miyamoto, during that same night, where Miyamoto and the monk were talking, or the old monk farmer were talking, a new character was shown off. I don't know if I missed the name. It's a younger monk. He's supposedly a prodigy, just like Seijiro. And seems like he might be somebody on a similar level and skill as him. He's supposedly not, I believe he's not the strongest monk there, but he's probably going to be on the main kind of fight for Miyamoto at the temple when the time comes. Which that fight will be interesting to see, if it does happen. And from there, as Miyamoto is walking up to the temple, he encounters one of the monks there. The monk senses bloodlust and instantly starts attacking him, which Miyamoto then starts defending and realizes how strong the monk is, and realizes he's not even the strongest one there, with supposedly the strongest one at the temple being Hozuin in L, or I don't know if it's supposed to, I read as in L, but when I hear that I just think of NL from One Piece. So I'm not too sure if I'm reading it correctly. But during their fight, Miyamoto ends up receiving a blow, almost taking him out, and he loses his sword, or his wooden sword, or just kind of stick. But as he lost that, he quickly went in and punched the monk in the face, taking him down. And then, out of nowhere, there's some clapping, and Toji is there watching, and that's where the volume ends. It seems like the next volume will start with a fight between Toji and Miyamoto. And maybe even the monk prodigy will fight in that volume too. But so far, I'm liking the series. It has a lot of potential, in my opinion. It has good art. It has a good story so far. Interesting to see where it will go from here. And I think the monk from the first volume, this character right here, might be my favorite. He has the most comedy bits, at least. And I hope he's a reoccurring character throughout the story. But that's the end of my review for Volume 4. And I'll see you next time.